Hiya fishy folks, and happy bonus video Tuesday. Today's video is going to be on how to do a fishing cycle. And I'm doing this video because I've seen a couple things lately on Facebook that is just people being dumb. And I've gotten a couple questions about it online and on YouTube, so I figured, let me do a video about it. Before I go ahead and explain how I would do a fishing cycle, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and then boop, the notification bell. And now go ahead, grab your snack and beverage, and check out this cool intro. Alright fishy folks, so hope you like that intro. I'm considering adding music. That was the biggest suggestion I had from my last video, but today's video, how to do a fishing cycle. Now before we do that, I just want to touch on the nitrogen cycle. So the dumbed down version is your fish create ammonia, which is toxic to them, in the form of pee and poop. That ammonia gets converted to nitrite by beneficial bacteria. Nitrite is also toxic to fish. Different beneficial bacteria convert that nitrite to nitrate, which in low levels doesn't harm fish at all. And that's the nitrogen cycle in a nutshell. If you have more questions, go ahead and Google the nitrogen cycle and learn all about it, which you should know if you're a fish keeper. Now, if you Googled something and you found my video, how to do a fishing cycle, I don't mean to be mean, but Google it. That's your best bet. All your answers are there. Alright, so how to do a fishing cycle. First, why would you do a fishing cycle? Well, the most common scenario is I went and I bought a fish tank, I filled it with water, I let it run for 3 days, and I brought my water to my big box store and they said it was fine, and I went and I bought a goldfish and a snail and 2 guppies and 2 mollies and an angel and 3 tetras and 1 cory cat because he's adorable. I put them in the fish and they started dying a day later. I brought my water back to the big box store and they said, oh, your tank isn't cycled. Well, duh. It was never cycled. The reason why they said your water was fine is that your water showed 0 ammonia and 0 nitrite. And the reason it said that is because you just put water in there. That's not cycling a tank. I go back to Google how to cycle the tank. Anyway, what do you do now? You have these fish and they're dying, but you don't want them all to die. You have to either return them or do a fish-in cycle. If you can't instantly cycle your tank, which I'll put a link up here to my way to instantly cycle a tank, but if you're not a fish keeper, you may not have fishy friends, and you may not be able to do that method, which basically is taking a seeded sponge and putting it in the tank, a seeded filter and putting it in the tank. So you have to do a fish-in cycle. What do you need to do a fish-in cycle? Well, first thing is you need patience. Then you need a notebook and a pen. And you need a way to test your water. Now, I recommend the API Master Test Kit. I'll put a link to Amazon down below. Now, normally I'd want you to go to your local fish store, support the local fish store, buy the API Master Test Kit there. Maybe pay a couple bucks more, but you're supporting your local shop, getting to know the owner, they're getting to know you. But unfortunately with this COVID-19 BS, we're all stuck at home. Don't go out, stay home. Order it on Amazon. I'm sorry. Evil Amazon, but we have no choice. Also, this is an Amazon associate link. I will make a few shekels if you click on it and buy anything, actually. If you don't want to use the Master Test Kit because it's a little expensive or you're scared because it looks complicated, you can buy test strips. I also recommend the Tetra test strips. Why? Because I've used both in my fish room and I trust them. The problem with the Tetra test strips are there's a 5-in-1 strip that doesn't do ammonia. You have to buy the ammonia strips as well. Links also down below for those. Again, Amazon affiliate links. So let's go over what we need. Patience, a notebook, a pen, and a way to test your water, and Seachem Safe. Sorry, Seachem Prime. You can use Safe, but most people don't need Safe, especially if they only have 1 tank. For those of you that don't know, Safe is the concentrated powder version of Seachem Prime. Okay, here's my method, and here's why I recommend doing it, or how I recommend doing it. You have to test your water. You probably will have ammonia right away. You must double dose with Prime every 2 days. That will detoxify the ammonia and won't kill your fish. Another thing you need is good observation skills. You have to watch your fish. If they look lethargic, if you see burning or red marks on their gills, or they're dead, you know there's a problem. If they're swimming fine and you're showing ammonia in your test, it means the Seachem Safe has detoxified that ammonia and it's not harmful to them. Now, with the cycle, ammonia will start to ramp up, and as it peaks and starts to come down, the beneficial bacteria that take that ammonia and convert it to nitrite start eating and working. So you'll see the ammonia start to come down and the nitrite start to come up. Again, continuing to double dose with Prime every 2 days. What does double dose mean? If for your size tank it says use a half a capful, use a full capful. Again, double, multiply times 2. If it says use a quarter capful, use a half capful. Okay? That's what I'm trying to say. And you have to do this every 2 days. Also, you need to test your water every day, at the same time, preferably, before you feed if possible. And here's why you need a notebook and a pen. You're going to keep a log. You're going to write down every day. You're going to write the date. Then you're going to make 3 columns: ammonia, nitrite, nitrate. And you're going to put your readings in parts per million. The reason you're going to do this is to track when your tank is cycled, so that if something happens, you can go back to your readings. If somebody asks you a question, like you go on Facebook and ask for help, you have the information documented right there. Let's go over this again. You have your fish in the tank. You check their water. You have ammonia. You double dose with Prime. You don't need to change water right away. Double dose with Prime. Go about your day. Observe your fish. If they are swimming fine, then you know that they're okay. You test your water every day. You track it. Your cycle will be complete when you have 0 ammonia, 0 nitrite, and some nitrates. Now at that point, don't go crazy. Don't add any more fish. Let your cycle stabilize. The beneficial bacteria can only convert the ammonia that is being produced. So if you have fish in your tank, and after your fishing cycle, let's say you have 10 fish, the beneficial bacteria convert that amount of ammonia. If you start adding fish, you have to let the beneficial bacteria grow to convert that ammonia, and then the beneficial bacteria for nitrate to convert that nitrate. So once your tank is cycled, don't go out and buy more fish right away. Let it stabilize for a week or 2, or longer if you can be patient enough. So you write everything down. Double dose with Prime every other day at least. You can't really overdose with Prime. I mean, you can if you drop the whole bottle in there. That would be bad. But if you're adding a capful or a half a capful or 2 capfuls, that's okay. Now, again, the snowflakes might get butthurt. And if you go online, if you go on Facebook and say, I'm doing a fishing cycle, you're going to get hammered. So just be prepared, okay, folks? Now, I don't recommend doing a fishing cycle, but sometimes it is necessary because you didn't research, because you were dumb and just went out and bought a fish tank. We've all done it. I've done it. I've told the story before. I've done it. But now you know. Now you have the knowledge to save your fish. The biggest thing is observing your fish. A couple other things I'm not sure if I mentioned. When you double dose with Prime, it detoxifies the ammonia and the nitrite. You'll still see it on your tests. Your test strip will still say you have ammonia. Your vial for ammonia will be green. It won't be yellow if you have ammonia. But if your fish are swimming okay, you're double dosing with Prime, it will be detoxified, so it won't be harmful to your fish. Again, pad, pen, a method for testing your water. Now, if you have a big box store or a local fish store and you want to go out of the house every day, bring them your water to test, make sure you write down what they tell you it is. Don't let them tell you it's fine, because that means absolutely nothing. You have to know what the numbers are in parts per million. Again, you want 0 parts per million ammonia, 0 parts per million nitrite, and under 40 parts per million nitrate. Fishing cycles aren't recommended, but they can be done. I've never cycled a tank any other way, because once I have one established, I just add a filter and then I use that seeded filter to start other tanks. So that's how I've always done it. It's worked for me. If you're gonna try it, or you have to try it, be patient, be careful. If you have any problems or questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer them. See ya. It's like a red line. Oh, it is a red line. It's the PEX. Duh. So, in closing, actually in review, that's what I mean, in review. All right, fishy folks, before we talk about the cycle, we need to very, what's the word I'm looking for? Typically you want ammonia. Most of my fish tanks have 0 nitrate because of all the plants in them, even though I only change about 10% water daily. So the 10% water daily plus the plants suck up the nitrate. Anyway, that's my system. Who cares? Stupid. I gotta start over. If they are swimming fine 2 days later. Actually, that's not true. So again, pad, paper, no, that's the same thing.